Welcome to A Pearl in Every Cow's Lips Ear. This is CLE's Language Arts 700, Book 5, recorded live. I hope you enjoy. Language Arts 7, Lesson 3, Relative Pronouns and Subordinating Conjunctions. There's a long nursery rhyme, and it goes like this. This is the house that Jack built. Maybe you've heard it. This is the house that Jack built. This is the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the cat that killed the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the dog that worried the cat that ate the rat that killed the rat that ate the mouse that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the cow with the crumpled horn who tossed the dog. Okay, now I'm getting confused. But it goes on and on. There's a cow, and there's a maid that milks the cow, and there's a man that kissed the maid, and there's a priest that married the man, and there's a cock that crowed on the morn, and there's a farmer who sowed the seed.
The priest married the man.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Performed the marriage for the man. Is what it means. So the very last line goes something like this. This is the man who sowed the seed that fed the cock who crowed on the morn, to wake the priest all shaven and shorn, who married the man
Who
married the man who kissed the maiden all forlorn, who milked the cow with a crumpled horn, who tossed the dog, who worried the cat, that killed the rat, that ate the malt, that lay in the house that Jack built.
What's Jack built? Oh,
Jack
the house that Jack
built the house. Okay, and every single one of those things is using that, okay? This is the cat that killed the rat, that ate the malt, that lay in the house, that Jack built. And that is one of the relative pronouns, and we're going to talk about relative pronouns today. Relative pronouns. And they are who, whose, which, and that. Relative pronouns always begin a clause. Now, a clause always has what? A
Subject and a verb.
Subject and a verb. So relative pronouns always begin a clause, and they always modify the word that comes directly before them. Listen. This is the cat that killed the rat. So that killed the rat is modifying what?
Cat.
Cat. That killed the rat. That ate the malt. So that ate the malt is modifying rat. That ate the malt. That lay in the house. So that lay in the house is modifying malt. That Jack built. Malt is a kind of, actually I think it might be used for making beer. I think it's kind of a rye malt is my guess actually. It's husked rye. So people would, I think they would ferment it and then make a whiskey beer type of thing from it. So anyway, this is an old nursery rhyme from way back when, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm not exactly sure what malt is. The relative pronoun always modifies the word that comes directly before it. We caught the boy who stole the peanuts. Can you find the clause in here?
Who stole the peanuts?
Who stole the peanuts? We can put brackets around them. What is the relative pronoun?
Who?
Who. And what word does it modify?
Boy.
Always the word that comes right before it. Let's put 2 lines under. Emma, what are put 2 lines under the verb in here. What is the verb? Stole. Who or what stole? Subject. Who stole? Okay, here, what is the relative pronoun in this one? Relative clause.
Which we found?
Which we found. The book which we found. And what is the relative pronoun?
Which?
What word does it modify?
Boy.
Always the word right before it. Book. And what is the verb in this clause?
Found.
Found. What is the subject in the clause? We found. Excellent. Now, there is another group of words that begin clauses. Relative pronouns always begin clauses and modify the word that comes right before them. The only 5 relative pronouns in all the world are these: who, whom, whose, which, and that. I mean, in the English language. Who, whom, whose, which, and that. You should be able to memorize those. Who, whom, whose, which, and that. Who, whom, whose, which, and that. Who, whom, whose, which, and that. But there's also subordinating. Subordinating, are they calling them conjunctions or clauses?
Conjunctions.
Conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions, and these also begin clauses. The difference are these are adjective clauses, and these are adverb clauses. And if you remember with adjectives, they always have to come right after the word they modify. These ones can come almost anywhere in the sentence. These ones don't matter so much. They begin with words like this. Since, when, because, after, although, and there are many, many more. There are many, many subordinating conjunctions. Can you find,
15.
and they begin an adverb clause. Good, 15 of them. They give you, wow. Okay, what's a subordinating clause in this sentence? Wash your hands before you eat.
Before you eat.
Before you eat, that's what brackets around it. What is the verb in here?
Eat. Eat.
What is the subject?
You.
What is the subordinating conjunction?
Before.
Before. What word does it modify?
Hands. Your hands. Wash.
Good. These will not modify the word that come right before them. They could, but these will always, always modify a verb. Always, I believe,
These
a
are
verb. Subordinating conjunctions. So we've got two sections in the lesson. First of all, there's that whole thing about the house that Jack built, the relative pronoun thing, and then we get into subordinated conjunctions. Before you eat, wash your hands before you eat. Find the subordinating clause in this sentence. After we had slept, we woke up. It's a subordinating clause.
After we had slept.
After we had slept. The boy cried because he was spanked.
Because he was spanked.
Because he was spanked. Okay, good. Since you have learned the lesson, you may carry on with your work. Actually, let's do a few relative pronouns together. Number one.
Wait.
Put brackets around. Let's do two of them. Put brackets around the
Who
clause.
was blind?
Who was blind? Circle the relative pronoun. What is the relative pronoun?
Who?
Who. Perfect.
Blind. And it modifies was by suspension.
Excellent. What's the relative pronoun in the next sentence?
With the book.
Nope.
No. That. That is due.
That is due today. It needs to begin with whom, whose, which, or that. That is due today. And what is the relative pronoun?
That.
Circle of that. Okay, can we jump down to number 6 now? You can go back and do the rest of those later. But number 6, bracket the clause here.
Well,
Seek ye the Lord while he may be found.
While he may be found.
While he may be found. Perfect. And what is the subordinating conjunction? While. Number 7, when the conductor raises his baton, the magicians position their instruments.
When the conductor raises his baton.
When the conductor raises baton. And what is the subordinating conjunction?
When.
When. Excellent. You're on to it. Carry on with your work.